Hey everyone, lots of my viewers are asking me about my views on religion, what religion I follow and things like this. So I'm going to answer this and all those other questions as well. I'm going to answer in this video. Now, this is obviously a very controversial and delicate subject, so please don't take anything I say personally. Remember, what I'm saying is not right, not wrong, not true. It's just my view, okay? So I myself, I don't really follow any religions. I'm a kind of a deist, atheist, depending how you define it. Now, do I believe in God? Well, that is a strange question in itself, because no one has really defined God in a way that could be meaningful in a conversation. So if you ask me if I believe in God, you need to immediately tell me what you mean by that. What is God? You know, so what's my view? If there is a God, then obviously it's not some kind of a human or similar to human being, not a biological being. It must be some kind of a being that's huge. Maybe the whole universe itself is God, and therefore we are part of the universe, so we are part of God too. And that's kind of what makes more sense to me. There could be simply that we've been created by some kind of a very highly advanced civilization, and we are simply a computer simulation like in the Matrix, something of this type. Obviously not necessarily that we were created to be exploited, but simply as an experiment, you know. For example, what else there is? Well, I believe that if we all look inside, focus on what's inside our feelings, if we meditate, we can really connect with this something, this higher force. And maybe it's just an illusion of something, maybe it's just an illusion of being a human being, or maybe really there is something to which we can connect and feel that connection. And I think that's the most important thing, to focus on what's inside and find the truth for yourself. Now, religions, there are obviously lots of religions all over the world, and where they come from, I think it's a simple source. People always wanted to know why, how, where we come from, and people really generally love to know the explanation of everything. How would you explain that? So they have come up with all sorts of stories, myths. We have Greek mythology, we have Zeus or Zeus and all other gods there. Then we have Christianity. We've got so Jesus was there, and he was then teaching people, and then someone built a religion around that. Then we have Islam with the teachings of Muhammad, and by the way, Muhammad, as we know from history, was not really probably the greatest example to follow. Definitely he was not as peaceful as Jesus. Jesus was the peaceful way. Muhammad was a little bit more feisty type, but maybe that was necessary in his times, you know. He lived in very brutal times, and that was the only way he saw forward. But it doesn't matter. So it's all kind of based on stories and fairy tales, you know. If you were born in somewhere in Europe, let's say, most likely you would be told the fairy tale of Jesus and his disciples and other things. And yeah, that maybe lots of it is based on real events and people, but really it's all fairy tales, interpretations and things. And then if you were born, I don't know, in Pakistan or in Saudi Arabia, then you were told another fairy tale about Muhammad and Islam and all other things. And if you were born in China, you were told another fairy tale about this or that, you know. And they're all good, they're all helpful, they serve a purpose. But, you know, I think we as adults, we need to realize these are just stories. These are not things we need to take seriously and fight about them. Oh, my fairy tale is better than yours, and it's the only true fairy tale. Your fairy tale is no good. We're gonna kill you now if you don't convert to our beliefs, you know. And we all believe in all sorts of silly things, you know. So one belief is not better than any other, to be fair. They're just some beliefs take us forward in life and expand us, and our the beliefs, they shrink us, so to say. They make us shrink and go backwards, you know. So I think we need to be very careful and use so-called discernment, really discernment to find out what really serves us, what belief serves us and what doesn't. And it's very difficult with religions, because religions, the only weapon they have is to tell you, you need to believe that that's the way it is. If you don't believe, you'll go to hell. So they don't have really any arguments. They just want to scare people that if they don't, they will go to hell or something like this, because obviously they can't defend themselves in a rational way. And again, there's nothing wrong with it. You just need to be aware of that's the kind of a marketing ploy that all religions use. That's the same marketing ploy that's been used by many other big companies as well, you know. If you stop taking our drugs, you will feel bad, you need to keep taking. So it's all the same thing. And again, nothing wrong. It's just it's just the way it is in life, you know. And you can now look at this and take it as a lesson and learn from it whatever you want, whatever you can, or you can choose something else, continue, you know, having those beliefs without examining them. It's up to you, you know, makes no difference to me really. But I hope that people will actually start taking that more seriously, start examining those beliefs and give them up if they see that they don't serve them, they don't serve the world. Because otherwise we will not progress very fast as a society, civilization. And there are lots of things happening in the world right now that are not ideal, so to say, not optimal, not very conducive to healthy world. So, you know, I know that we could use some better development of the world in many areas. So we really need to start taking our beliefs with discernment. So that's my view on religion or God, kind of in short. You know, I don't want to go into detail, but maybe one more thing I will tell you. So some people have those also beliefs of into spirits, spirit guides, angels, and all sorts of things. And and there is a lot of validity in this, because you cannot deny that those people have certain experiences, that they experience some kind of communication. I sometimes get communication from I don't know where. I can channel some information to people that I couldn't know otherwise, and people often tell me, oh my God, how did you know that? How did you know that this is the message I needed to hear? Oh my, it's incredible. So we can say, oh, that's a telepathy, or we can say, yeah, there are some spirit guides, angels, or whatever we call them, some energies. You know, we can never understand them, by the way. I don't think we can ever understand them, because as long as we live in those bodies, we are limited by the bodies, by the brains we have. Like, you know, if you take a dog and go and try and explain to a dog or to a monkey the theory of relativity or quantum physics, the basics of quantum physics, for many people it's a difficult subject. I don't think you'll be able to explain it to a dog or to a monkey. But even if you will be able to explain it, make that monkey or dog teach it to some other dog or monkey. You know, this is impossible. And the same, imagine now explaining it to a small ant. It's completely beyond the comprehension of a little ant. She or he cannot understand anything at all. And so the same goes for God and those energies, spirit guides. We might have an idea, but I don't think we'll ever be able to comprehend it, because it's just beyond the scope of what's possible for a human being. Simple as that, you know. So if God exists, obviously he's not some kind of a little guy who's afraid and he keeps telling people, oh, if you don't believe in me, if you don't pray to me, I will be very angry and upset. You know, this is that would be an insult to a God, first of all. But obviously God cannot be insulted. A God who can be insulted is not really a God. It's just another weak human being, you know, pathetic. So a God would not be insulted by anything. Also, God, if God is powerful, almighty, it doesn't need your help. You know, it can create whatever he or she or it wants. It doesn't need your help. Okay, you don't need to save it from anything. You don't need to be, I don't know, his lawyer or solicitor. You know, yeah. If you want to be a messenger, if you believe that you're getting clear messages from God and you want to be his or her messenger, yeah, by all means go for it, but you know, don't think that you can save the world and other people by forcing them to do whatever you think is right, you know, because what you think is right might be totally wrong. And remember, we as human beings, we are wrong most of the time, you know, because if you talk to 5 people and everybody has a different opinion, only one can be right, and maybe none of them is right, you know. So remember, we make mistakes and we are wrong most of the time. So don't insist that you are right, because that's just once that's arrogant, two, it's ignorant, you know. So it's up to you. If you want to insist that you're right, you know better, well, be my guest. I'm not going to argue with you. This is how I see it, this is what I believe, and I'm always happy to examine my beliefs, and I have changed my beliefs quite a lot in the last 10-20 years, really, you know. Every now and then I have some realizations. For example, once I used to believe in reincarnation. Now my view is a little bit different. I think there is no such a thing as reincarnation, not in a way that is commonly accepted, so to say, is commonly preached. So if there is a soul, let's say, the soul might be incarnating, but it's not you. You are not incarnating the way I see it. It's the soul simply is incarnating in different places, and that soul is kind of a one type of an energy, and then that soul, because it's some kind of energy, probably can mix with other energies. So I don't know, it's very complicated. So in any case, I think the incarnation is of the soul, not of a human being. When you're a human being, you are in a body. When you lose the body, when you die, you stop being a human being. You are something completely different, and I don't know what that is. Doesn't matter. You stop being human being. You join your soul, let's say, and then the soul decides now to incarnate somewhere else, in some other body. Or also, because the soul is timeless, and we know that time is an illusion or byproduct of the three-dimensional space, the soul most probably can reincarnate at any time. For the soul, it's kind of one time, and for us human beings, it could be today, it could be 1,000 years ago, 10,000 years in the future, it could be maybe even in another galaxy. So the soul, if there is some kind of reincarnation, is not reincarnation of the human, but of the soul. So I don't believe that we can, in next life, we can be a monkey, or in the previous life we were a duck, you know, or anything like this. Maybe our soul was incarnated like that, but not us. Well, what else can I tell you? Well, if you have any more questions, simply ask me in the comments, and I'll see if I can answer more of your questions about my view on religion, gods, angels, spirit guides, and all sorts of other things. If I missed something, sorry for that. I hope that will be enough for most of you. Thank you for watching again, and see you in the next video. Take care, guys.